Hello, I'm now going to demonstrate the next piece of the puzzle. So we've done some basic setup on our app server. We're now going to install the VMware Horizon 7 connection server on a Windows member server. Then we can create a VM template and so on and so forth. But we're going to take this a little piece at a time. All I'm going to do in this time is activity 9.4. Installing the connection server. Now, you can also run the connection server on a Linux box or on a Mac OS system. So, depending on your environment, and whether you've got a whole bunch of you've got a truly an Active Directory centric environment, lots of Windows servers with vCenter server running on vCenter running inside Windows, the connection server running on top of Windows, rather than a whole bunch of active ESXi hosts and a vCenter server appliance deployed, and so on and so forth. So there's more than one way to do this. This is going to be the Windows-centric way of doing this. It does come, I think, with additional licensing requirements, but we're not going to worry about those right now. So, so I've got my PL app desktop. We're actually going to go to the Tools and Resources page. Boom, here. And we're going to go to, let's see, Public Files, Installation Files. It's a really good idea, particularly if this is the sort of thing you're going to have to do a lot of. You might well have some kind of file server, FTP based, on your system so that your technicians you have all your files in one place and they don't have to worry about carrying them around on flash drives. You can get things done that way, but it's not as useful. So we're going to find the VMware link. I'm essentially, it's like almost like I'm dealing with, I'm doing this over HTTP, but it's almost like I'm dealing with an FTP server here. So VMware, and as you can see, there's lots of stuff here. I've got ThinApp, I've got Horizon, I've got vSphere, VMware Player. All of this is an earlier environment, but so the ISOs. And notice that we're seeing executables and OVAs, not ISOs here, because we're deploying into a Windows environment rather than taking VMs and deploying them, or unpacking a disk ISO and finding an executable to run there. So VMware installation, we want our Horizon zip file. We're going to save it. 2 gigs, give it a minute. Okay. And so we're going to double click that folder. Let's go view downloads. Downloads. There we go. So we're going to wait for it a minute to load for just a minute. Well, we can close this. Here we go. We can unpack it. Let's see. Now, technically speaking, I suppose you could double click. I'm going to do this slightly different. Extract all. Extract. Sometimes these things work a little better if you're not running them out of your compressed package. I'm basically kind of adding a step, adding some steps right here. This is almost a step 4 before B, because I think this will work just a little bit better. And so if you're having a problem like this, what you might well do, now that I'm in download, see, now that I've got it uncompressed. Boom, shrink that. Now double click in, double click in. Now, I've got these applications, and which one do I want? I want my connection server. Notice I've got a bunch of stuff here. I've got persona management, ThinApp, which is an application virtualization framework, view agents, composers, the connection server. I think, technically speaking, this thing is called VMware View Horizon. Let's see, we want the connection server. Yes, this one. Right click. And let's see, run as administrator. I like to run these things as admin if at all possible, because it seems sometimes to work a little bit better. Because it's going to be interfacing with, it's going to be installing things into the guts of the system. Potentially generating, for example, registry key entries, and that sometimes it works a little bit better. Okay, let's see, back. So there's the license agreement, we accept that, so that was that step. Now the next thing is we click next to accept that default location. Now our next question is a standard replica enrollment or security, and whether also IPv4 or IPv6. What we're going to do is a standard server using IPv4. Your replica server is basically a backup of that standard to provide load balancing and fault tolerance. Your security server, as I've mentioned in the lecture, allows you to place a connection server with slightly different capabilities in the DMZ for truly remote clients. So click, and we're going to choose next. And my data recovery password. I'm going to call it default. There. And we are, let's see, we're going to configure the firewall automatically. It's going to use port 8009, 80, 443, 401, 402, 410, 400, 4100, 4101. Let's see. Interesting. Also UDP. Interesting. PCOIP, PC over IP, JMS, HTML, Interpod API. I have to write this stuff down. And actually, you know what? I'm going to do that right now. Let's see. Actually, and next. And we are going to authorize the domain let's see, authorize the domain admin group. So basically our domain administrators become Horizon administrators, tying your Active Directory to your Horizon administration together. Next. And we're not going to participate in the improvement survey, and we're going to click install. And it is interesting, it is adding a server role, Active Directory Lightweight Directory Services role, to this member server. I suppose if we wanted to look at this, of course I didn't, okay, here, there. Let's look at our no tasks details. I'm guessing that wasn't there a minute ago. because this. There we go. It's adding a directory services schema. Remember, directory services fundamentally is a database. The schema tells us the general structure and layout of that database. And the next thing we're going to do after it installs is we're going to test our connection. And notice, okay, you've got our Horizon Administrator icon already up and going. Brilliant. I'm going to pause this right here just to make sure that we do not run out of time. Okay, so it's done. Huzzah. I'm going to click Finish. Let's see what the README looks like. How big it is, actually. Okay, so there's some interesting stuff. Your view setup will be easier. Huzzah. We could also read it in French, German, Spanish. That's Korean. And I don't know. One of these is, I think these are two different flavors. Two of these are two different flavors of Chinese, and one of these is Japanese. Okay, no. Okay, so anyway, this is Horizon 7.2. Let's see, so we're upgrading to Horizon 7 from View 5.3. I think View is, in that case, View is the older version of this. We got some ports we have to have open, 402. We may have some compatibility issues. Guess what? It does not support a dual stack environment. Is that the whole? Oh, okay. That's the shortest README ever. Good to know. Sometimes these READMEs are long and complicated with lots of release notes and who wrote it. I mean, all good information to have. Let's see. So there we do. We can also. There we go. You're not actually going to start it. So we do have that there. So thank you for watching. The next exercise will be actually configuring this connection server. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.